you're very excited to get into your weight loss journey, and you start off with having your diet right, and then you increase your activity and you know for sure you're burning more calories. So it's time to check in. So you wait for almost a week and then you hop onto the scale expecting that yes, the scale is going to give me 1 lb or 2 lb. I'm so excited, I don't know how many kgs I'm going to lose. So you jump onto the scale with so much of hope and expectations, and then you get off the scale with so much of disappointment, because either the scale is still showing the same numbers it showed 1 week before, or the scale is showing even a slighter higher number, and you are like, this can't be real. I gave so much of effort, I put in so much of hard work, and why is the scale not reflecting? So you start off your day looking at the scale and being very disappointed that the scale is not showing results, and then the whole day goes by in such a low mood that you don't feel like cooking, you don't feel like taking care of your family, you don't feel like showing up to work, and even when you're logging in and sitting at work, all you're able to think of is like, why is the scale not showing me results? I'm giving in my best. So that's when you start breaking down, you have a meltdown moment. If this sounds like you, then this video is for you. In this video, we're going to look at what it takes to get that scale moving. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Neela Tyagarajan. After losing 46 kgs of my body weight, I realized that I've been put through this journey to help non-resident Indian mothers who've been uprooted from their native soil in their weight loss journey, and help them get back their teen energy, body and confidence without having to give up the foods that they grew up with. So when it comes to the scale being stuck and you think it's not giving results, right? The first question to ask is, am I giving a calorie deficit? And how do you know that you're giving a calorie deficit? Is by starting to track and measure, because anything that you track gets measured, and anything that gets measured gets improved. So you cannot do the guess game and hope that every week the scale is going to show results. Instead, you got to be very precise about knowing that you are giving a calorie deficit, you are tracking your macros, and you're tracking your activity as well. I've spoken about that in detail in my last video. I will leave a link to that video in the description box, so you can watch that video first and watch this video, so you don't feel like you're being left out in that conversation. So now let's assume that you're giving a calorie deficit, you're tracking and measuring, right? And you're adding exercise and you're increasing your movement. You're doing everything that it takes for you to be able to lose weight. Yet the scale is not budging. You've lost the initial few kgs and you're continuing to do the same thing again and again, and you're stuck. And again, I've spoken about this a lot in detail in my previous video, where if you continue to do what you're doing, then your body is going to be in maintenance mode. So you've got to keep improving on something or the other for the body to start creating more deficit. So please watch that video if you haven't. But let's say that you're also constantly increasing your activity and you are giving a good calorie deficit and your nutrition is at par, and still your scale is not budging. Then what do I do? The first thing I want you to realize is, are you setting right expectations, right? And how do you know if you're setting right expectations? Is you go to Dr. Google and you ask Dr. Google, what does it take? How much weight is it okay to lose? How much weight should I lose every week? And then the results are going to show up saying that you have to lose 1 lb to anywhere between 3 lbs is a very realistic and sustainable way to lose weight. So the expectation that you have is every week your scale is going to show 1 lb lesser and lesser. But in reality, after having worked with 300 clients and going through this journey for several years by myself, I realized that the scale doesn't work that way, or more so the body doesn't work that way. It's not a machine where you constantly look at input, processing and output to figure out, okay, I'm giving this deficit, now my body is processing it and it's going to give me an output of 1 lb weight loss. It doesn't happen that way. I'm a big fan of Atomic Habits by James Clear, where he talks about the value of disappointment, and this happens in any phase of your journey, not just weight loss, that there is an initial valley of disappointment that you have to go through to be able to see results. Like success is an event. For that event to happen, there has to be so much work that is happening behind the scenes, which most people don't get to see or don't get to know. Weight loss is also very similar, right? You've got to constantly keep hitting your body with deficit, and have the body figure out what it needs to do for it to be able to keep that weight loss going. And most of the time it is continuing to keep making changes in your movement and in your food patterns, right? So it's going to take a while. So if you're expecting that every week I want to lose 1 lb, you're setting yourself up for disappointment, and if you're going to pile up on disappointments, you're going to give up and ultimately you're going to feel like a failure. So don't let that happen. Take away your focus from the scale, but only do so after knowing for sure that you are giving a calorie deficit, your macros are really good, and your activity levels are constantly increasing, and you are in a place where your body is not at a very comfortable place. You know that for sure, and still if you are finding your scale being stuck, that is when being very patient is going to help, because it takes time. It is not a fast process. Our bodies have adapted to this state of metabolism for so many years because we've been physically active for up to our high school years, maybe, or even in our college days. But after that, for next 15-20 years, we have trained our body to be less physically active. And now what we are saying is, I'm getting into this journey for a week, for a month, and in these many months I want my metabolism to be back up and running to the place I was 15-20 years back. That is not a fair expectation, right? Your body needs the time it needs. So, and ensure that your expectations are realistic, and for you to be able to ensure that you're seeing progress, and scale is not the Bible when it comes to weight loss. I'll talk a little bit more about why scale is not the right point of reference for you in the next few minutes. But before that, understand that that is not the focus point for you to measure your success, right? And it's going to take a while for your body to catch up, for the scale to catch up. So let's get that off now. The second thing I want you to realize is that the scale is not the yardstick, I said, right? Why is it not the yardstick? That is because of the body composition. Our bodies are made up of 60% of water. Okay, if you look at the 4 compartmentalizations we have, it is water, it is lean muscle mass, it is fat mass, and it is bone and mineral composition. So these are the 4 different players when it comes to how our body is made up of. So 60% of our body is made up of water, right? And then you will have anywhere between 20 to 30% coming from the fat, which is what you're trying to cut down, and the rest is broken down between bone and lean muscle mass. So while you're looking at the scale is not going to show how much of fat you lost, because as you can see, anywhere between 20 to 30%, it can even be 35% of body fat is what you have. Out of the 20 to 35% of body fat that you have, almost 20%, anywhere between 20 to 25, is what females need. There is this essential fat that females need and non-essential fat, right? So when you add it up, you definitely need at least 20% of fat to be in a healthy range. So now we're talking about 10% fat. Okay, that is we're trying to get rid of from our body. So for the 10% fat to show up in your scale is something that, it's not realistic, right? 90% of your body is made up of water, muscle mass, a good amount of fat that you want, and bone and mineral mass, and you're trying to get rid of 10% of body fat, and you're expecting the scale to show the 10% change when you know that your body can retain water, when you're increasing your protein, when you're increasing your activity, right? And when you gain muscles. All of these can cause your body to fluctuate in terms of water retention. Having said that, if so much of water retention and fluctuation is happening in your body, how do you expect the scale to only pick the fat fat loss percentage and show that to you in terms of numbers. So now you realize that stepping on the scale is not a yardstick to measure your success. So don't let your scale ruin your mood for the day. There could be other measurements, like say, as I said, body measurements. You can check your different parts of the body, because the probability of one particular part of your body retaining water, such as your waist, your hip, your thighs, your arms, is very less compared to the total body retention. So that can give you a good indication. How your clothes fit is also a good indication. But again, this is something that everybody says day in and day out, right? Look at other areas. But what I want you to take home after watching this video is that weight loss is beyond body. We're looking at the energy, we're looking at the confidence, and I know it is associated with body, but you also want to look at tangible weight loss, tangible benefits and non-tangible benefits. What are the non-tangible benefits that you're seeing, right? And some of my clients have reported that when they have started focusing on nutrition, the entire family's nutrition has gotten much higher. They're all making healthy choices. The energy levels have gotten up so much now that you're able to increase your activity levels. Your mood is very bright. Your skin and hair is improved because you're fueling your body with the right micro and macronutrients, and you're feeling more positive, you're feeling more energized, you're feeling more grateful, you're feeling more happy. Because when you compare yourself from where you started a few months back to now where you are, you're able to see a lot of changes. So having a positive outlook that is not just focused on scale, but focused on overall lifestyle changes that you're able to make, not just for yourself but your family, and eventually your friends are also going to ask. So you're going to be able to transform the lives of your community also. So this is very fulfilling. This will make you move towards joy. And also other activities that you have been able to improve could be something like dancing or singing or practice a craft work. These are the other areas that now you see that your stamina, your endurance is improved because you're eating more protein, and that's giving you more energy. These are the non-tangible benefits that you got to ask these questions to yourself. You got to stop for a while and start reflecting. What are the benefits I'm getting? What is working for me? What is not working for me? When you start realizing all of these benefits beyond the scale, you will realize your journey being more fulfilled, more joyous, and you will know for sure, you will start trusting your intuition and knowing for sure that your body is guiding you towards that life that you were meant to get to. So always focus on the performance, the process that you can improve on, and not the outcome. Whenever you get attached to outcome is going to happen. That is a result. You will definitely get there. But if you keep your focus on the outcome, it will feel like a never-ending journey for you. Instead, keep the focus on performance. That's going to make you very thrilled and excited, because this is something that you were not able to do 3 months, but now that you're able to do itself is a good indicator that you're making progress in the right direction. I hope this video got you into thinking about what are the non-tangible benefits. I would love to hear more about what are the tangible benefits that you've gotten, which you can put a number to and associate when it comes to weight loss. What are the non-tangible benefits that you've been able to see? And I've given you some examples. Feel free to comment and let me know. I would love to hear those details from you. And if you are someone who's been uprooted from your native Indian soil and struggling to balance this lifestyle here, either in American soil or in a European soil or in Canadian soil for that matter, I would love to work with you to be able to help you out in your journey, guide you step by step in your weight loss transformation so that it doesn't feel overwhelming. And the step-by-step guidance would be focusing on one thing at a time, starting with focusing on your calorie deficit, focusing on your nutrition, focusing on your activity, and by the time you realize, helping you master this process and empowering you to write your weight loss story. If that sounds exciting, click the link below to fill the form and apply to work with me. And if you got any value out of this video, feel free to give a like and do share it with anyone for whom you think that this information would be helpful. It could transform their lives. Thank you so much for your time. Until I see you in my next video, stay safe, take care, bye.